In this lecture, we are going to see how to select a subset of the dataset based on specific criteria. You can select a subset of the dataset based on certain information of a particular variable, or you can select a subset of variable based on certain column and so on. So we're going to see a few techniques here and also see how to compute the proportion of the dataset compared to the entire dataset. So first of all, we are going to look at the dataset using the head command. So you type head. This lists the first 6 rows of the dataset. So you can see we have the first 6 rows of the dataset. So you can type the name command to see the name of the dataset. So we have the name of the variable in the dataset. You can type the structure to see the structure of the dataset. So the str command to see the structure of the dataset. Now let us say that we want to extract. We saw here that we have for the names, we have here are the names. I can run that again and see what we have. So let us run again the names command. Okay, so here what we have for the name. So I would like to subtract a subset of the dataset for the model year. So I want to have the dataset that contain all the information for the model years greater than 2000, for instance. So I just type new data. I call new data 1. It's a subset. So I pass my original data set. So I specified that I want model years to be greater than 2000. So I run this. When you can say, so if I look at this data set, you see that in model years we only have everything greater than, the years had to be greater than 2000. So when you run this, if you look at the years here, this last column is a year. So you can see that the years are greater than 2000, not less than 2000. So here's years are started at 2004 and up. So it has on 2001 but not 2000, so it's greater than 2000 anyway. So let us go back and look. You can select for the years. If you want the model years to be equal to 2000, you simply set model years equal to 2000. So you store in the new data set called new data set 2. So that's another subset of data set. And also I can select using 2 criteria. For instance, if I want the model years to be greater than 1998 and be less than 2003, I can use this command. So I simply have the 2 criteria. This is the and if you run this data set, you see that the model year will be based on this criteria that we have here. So this is what we have for the model years. This is what we have. And if you look at you can, so that means you want the model year to be greater than this one, I have the model year to be less than this. So it's basically in between. Now I can call a new data set data for new data set 4. I select the subset based on. So now I want to deal with 2 variables. So I want the model years to be greater than 1998 and the age to be greater than the age to be less than 30. So when I run this, if you look at this data set, you can see that indeed for this data set the variable age, which one is the age? So anyway, you just have to look at this data set. I'm confident that this is the age variable. So this is the age. You can see that the age is less than what we specify over there, and the years also match the criteria that we specify. So that's correct. Now you can also select so you can compute the dim. So if I type the structure of this data set, so if I type dim, let us say dim first. If I type dim new, this is the data set 4, new data 4, then I run this, you see that in the dim we have basically this number of row and this number of column. So if I want to access only the row, I can count only this, and this is the number of column. So I can compute the percentage, the proportion of this data set based on the entire data set by typing dim new data. So I access the first element, which is this one. So if I type, for instance, dim, then I say 1, you see that we have the first element, which is this. So now I can run this to see the percentage. So I divide this by the total dimensional data set. So I run this, you see that we have about 22% of the data set match this criteria. So I can do the same technique. I can specify the age, the model years greater than this, the age less than 30, but I select only this variable in the data set. So when I run this, what we have, and if I look at the data set, we see that it's indeed match the criteria that we specify over there. Let me run only this. Okay, so you can see that we only have this variable here. Okay, so we only have the age, the model years, the make, the sex, and the body, and they all match the criteria that we specify here. So we want the age to be less than 30 and the model years be greater than this. We can also compute the dimension and see. So this represents about 22% data set. Another technique, you can use the OR. So the two, you use this to represent the OR. So I want the model years to be greater than this, or the age be less than, and I want to select only this criteria, this subset of variable. So when I run this, you can also visualize that as I did. Just run this data set, and you can now also compute the proportional data set for this one in the entire data set using this command. And this is it's interesting. Yeah, so this is about the entire data set, because we are using the OR. That's why. So because the OR, that means it match all the criteria basically. So this is how to select a subset of data set. So you have data set that you are trying to explore basically, and try to get some insight about the data set. You can use this technique to select a subset of data set, analyze individually, or do some counting on that, or even compare some stuff. So that's how to deal with a subset of data set. Thank you, and see you on the next video.